everyone, I'm Sal Cincotta, and this month we're going to take your questions around baby photography. So let's jump right into it. First question comes to us from Ben. I want to know more about parent releases. I've never photographed someone else's baby, and my fear is what happens if someone else's baby bumps his or her head. Do you guys have any kind of release form specifically for shooting babies in situations like the above described? Ben, here's the reality. You're not going to be able to prepare for every single scenario where not only a baby, but a client period is protected. I mean, there's too many different scenarios. They can trip on your step walking into your home. They can go into your bathroom, turn on the hot water, and burn the baby's hand. And again, this doesn't have to be just babies. What you need is a liability policy. And so within our business, we have $1 million, $3 million, don't quote me on that, I'm almost positive that's what it is, to allow for this kind of stuff to be covered. Of course, if you're doing something with negligence, like dangling a baby from 8 feet in the air to get a shot, I'm not sure your insurance policy is going to cover you. So the first thing you can do is not do anything that's going to put the baby in danger. A lot of photographers out there, I mean, it's just like they got hit with the stupid stick. Look, again, here's the reality. You've got to protect the baby, pillows, blankets, anything to protect them. Can an accident happen? Of course it can. But talk to your insurance agent. You are going to need a liability policy to protect against these types of lawsuits that could potentially happen. And again, this insurance isn't expensive. I mean, you're talking about maybe $500 a year, max of $1,000 a year for that kind of policy. What's peace of mind worth? I mean, God forbid something were to happen to a newborn. You're looking at a lawsuit that will destroy your business, and it's not just your business. It's something that will stay with you for the rest of your life because they can sue you for future earnings. So I'm not trying to scare the shit out of everybody, but you've got to protect your business. You need that insurance. Even if you're a sole proprietor, even more of a reason, because you don't want them suing you and going after your home and retirement plan, things like that. So even if you're just a part-time photographer, you've got to have this kind of policy. Next question comes to us from Nicole. How do you keep parents wanting to buy when they spend gloriously on newborn prints, of course, with a type of Grow With Me program? I can tell you from firsthand experience, we had a baby's first year program. Of course, the newborn pictures were always one of the biggest sales. And then after that was the 1 year session, right? Because that's when they've hit their 1 year. It's kind of a celebratory moment. Here's an idea for you. Here's what I found. By offering specific products all along the way and shooting for those maybe a cluster, something along those lines, it will keep your sales going. If you just keep shooting the same way through all 5 sessions, you're going to kind of wear out that sales process, right? Because they're going to go, well, it looks just like the other one. So you've got to create 3 to 5 unique sessions. The newborn speaks for itself. The 1 year, if you do like a cake smash, or just their first year in general, 1 year, those 2 sessions speak for themselves. What do you do for the 3 that are in between? Why not come up with some sort of stylized, unique shoot all along the way? That can be wardrobe, that can be location, right? Lighting, the way it's edited, the products it's printed on. So look for something that's unique. Offer the clients a cluster. Maybe you're selling that cluster up front. So sell them this concept of a cluster in the very beginning, and that's what they're buying into. And then by the 1 year mark, they've gotten 2 images from every session to fill that cluster. And that cluster can be an 11 by 16, some 4 by 6s, some 5 by 7s, right? But you want to sell that whole concept, and that should help you. Check out Bay Photo this month. We did a product review. They've got 2 very unique wood products. One is barn wood, and then one is actually printed on wood. So check those out, and that's the kind of unique product that maybe you can offer your client that they can't get anywhere else, right? Because you don't want them coming to you and then going to Walmart for $20 and all you could possibly eat, every print size imaginable, right? You've got to keep them within your sales process. Next question comes to us from Tiffany. What are some of the best products that sell? Tiffany, my experience has shown that unique products are what sell. What you can also do, we did with success, is add a top package that gives them the digital files from every session, okay? Because this is what they want. They think they want it. They're not going to do anything with it. It's going to be on a thumb drive. It's going to make its appearance when their baby goes to get married, right? Now, 20, 30 years later, they're getting married, and now we're going to do a slideshow. I mean, these are not things that they're going to print and put up on their wall. So offer them in your higher end package the digital files. That will sell, that will pull them through to spend more money. Do not, I repeat, do not put this in your base package, and do not just sell a $50 session fee and you get all your digital files. You're going to go out of business, and you're going to go out of business fast. Okay? Bundle it with prints. You always want to deliver some type of print to your client, and that can be acrylic blocks, are really, really popular. Check out Virtuoso, vbysal.com. The acrylic blocks are gorgeous. That's something that they can build on, add to their family. And of course, look to their living room in those areas. Also, look for unique products and services that you can offer. Wood, metals, acrylics. These are the type of things they can't get anywhere else. Stay away from the little tchotchkes. I think it just cheapens your brand, and it's stuff that they can get online for probably a hell of a lot cheaper than you're offering it. So stay with the unique products. Next question comes to us from Crystal. The best place to learn safety in photographing a newborn. Crystal, I don't know if there's a place to learn safety per se. The one thing to keep in mind is you've got to let common sense prevail. And I know just saying that I'm laughing myself because common sense is not so common. Here's the reality. Treat that baby as like a precious piece of glass. Okay, you've got to protect the baby. Don't hang them, dangle them. And if you do, right, here's what ends up happening. We see these pictures where people are, they've got the babies wrapped in some sort of swaddle and they look like they're hanging 20 feet off the air. But the reality is, do your research, do your homework. They're not hanging 20 feet up in the air. They're not hanging 5 feet up in the air. I mean, a baby falls from 5 feet, it's disastrous, right? They're maybe hanging 3 inches off the ground and there's somebody's hands right below them, okay? Or where they look like they're in these weird, awkward poses. These are typically composite shots where they're shooting and somebody's holding one side of the face, then they shoot the other side of the face and they're merging these, right? So just do your research on the behind the scenes. Don't fall for the photo that you're seeing that looks like it's final. That's not how it was shot, right? So you've got to protect the baby. And if you don't have your own child, right, it becomes maybe a little bit more difficult because you want to take a little bit more risk. But there should be zero risk with someone else's child. You're just setting yourself up for failure and ultimately disaster. Next question comes to us from Elizabeth. How do you deal with colicky babies who are so fussy and are only happy being held by the mom and dad who don't want to be in the pictures? Yes, we did the 5 S's. Look, here's what I tell all my clients. So do with this whatever you want. When we meet with them and have a consultation, whether it's on the phone, whether it's in person, or even when that session's about to start, we explain to them that newborns are very difficult to work with. You can only get what they give you. And then they look at us and they go, oh, no, we totally understand. I'm like, and I explain further. I say, I want to make sure you truly understand. We may sit here for 2 hours and get one picture, one image. I said, and if that's all we get, that's all we get. And I have to explain to them that we can't control how fussy the baby is. And there have been sessions where we have spent 2+ hours and it's a complete wash, which, by the way, is one of the reasons I don't love baby and newborn photography, because you just never know what you're going to get. And that's just the reality. So I think it comes down to communication with the client, and explaining to them what to expect. And this is going to position you as the expert, because you're going, hey guys, I just want to let you know this is what couldn't happen, may or may not happen, I'm sorry, and what to expect in the future. Maybe you bring them back in at another session, or you have them ready for this mentally so that they're okay being on camera, right? And you can do things that are more journalistic in nature, black and white. You can make it work, right? You've got to find a way to make that sale. Last question comes to us from Evelyn. Best lighting tips for a newborn. Evelyn, the best advice I can give you is when you're dealing with newborns is not to mess around with studio lighting too much. Work with constant and continuous lighting. So what's lighting me right now? Westcott spider lights. And so this is a constant and continuous light. You set it up and then you just go, because you don't know what's going to end up happening. And if you have to spend time messing around with lighting, messing around with exposure, and moving these lights and trying to reset, you're going to lose all the time in the world. When you're working with newborns, just children in general, I love continuous lighting because it just allows us to, what you see is what you get. And maybe it's a dummy-proof way of getting a good shot, but it's a hell of a lot easier than trying to reset my exposure and dealing with all these issues in post-production. And so I love just having sort of a kind of flat light, right, where it's continuous, it's getting us what we need. Now when they're 1 or 2 or 3 years old, yeah, they're still moving, but you might have that moment where they can just sit there for a portrait. That's where maybe I'm going to control my light a little bit different, bring in a beauty dish, right? Give it a little bit more of dimensional lighting, maybe more of a fashion look, because now I've got a child that'll cooperate a little bit more, right? And I know when I say that, that's not always the case. So great questions this month. Keep them coming. We'll see you next month. It's our anniversary edition, 4 years long. Hard to believe that Shutter Magazine has been around for 4 years, but it's been an incredible ride, incredible journey. Thanks for all your support.